What was that? Huh? What? What are you saying?
Okay.
I like that
I didn't hear that, but that makes sense.
I got to say, there's not a lot of meat left on the bone, I suppose, but, we probably should wrap up the life of Keith Markovich before we move on. I mean, I just killed him. I mean, absolutely dead and buried. What was that?
Well, some people didn't hear you.
Hold on. What was that? You're a shit eater, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. Good boy. I mean, it's just, yeah, I know it's on our YouTube channel. There's not much left to say about that. And I might have said it even on the Sirius show yesterday. It gave me tremendous satisfaction to play that song for him and have him wait and listen to it before we did the interview. Because he's a wretched, horrendous, awful human being. And I will say this.
An exaggeration, Kirk.
Thank you, Keith. Take it easy, Steve. You got a lot of drops. Relax. There is 0.0% chance I would re-sign with this company if he's still here when my contract is up.
Really?
That is a non-starter.
Wow.
And they probably won't care. That's fine. We'll get to the rundown, these three idiots, in a minute or two. But no chance I would stay at the company that allows this guy to have that position of power. No, and for many reasons. As a feminist and just as a employee, we know what it means. I wouldn't let it happen. And I'm embarrassed that management allows him to have that position still. I think it's dreadful. And I think yesterday, and no reaction from upper management to me yesterday, other than Dave defending him. Dog collar Dave defending these guys on the rundown.
You make a lot of references I don't understand.
What do you mean? DC Dave on the rundown, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable this guy still has a job. And any other job, and I understand Barstool is different. It's just different, I suppose. But boy, incredible. But what can you do? So that's the only thing I would say is if he's removed editor-in-chief in a couple of years, my contract's up, maybe I'll resign. And like I said, they don't care. We're a nice part of the company. We're making the company money. I'm not sure how many podcasts are or aren't. And maybe they don't mind losing the most loyal audience in America today, which this audience is, the greatest audience in America and the most loyal podcast audience. Not the biggest, but the most loyal. I've seen metrics that prove that many, 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 many times over. So I'll drag them with me somewhere else. And that's okay. And, but I'll always gonna lie. I love Dave and Erika and everybody there, but it's a shame they let this idiot run wild. So they do the rundown last night. And Kevin's just having fun. Like, he doesn't fucking really believe this.
Yeah.
How I look at it, I think of it this way. I thought about this when I was running this morning. So there's sort of, they look at it as sort of the original four or whatever, right? These four guys. I think it's simpler if you think of it this way. If you're not a Barstool historian like I am, I would say Dave is Don Corleone. A little hot-headed, but still, runs the show. Kevin is Sonny, hot-tempered,
okay,
stupid, but well-meaning and like a good person underneath it all. I think defends his family like he did with his sister, stuff like that.
I can see that.
Dan is Tom Hagen, kind of
really?
Businesslike. Everybody kind of likes him and respects him. He doesn't really get into big issues. There's no real. He understands business first. He's a nice guy.
He kind of stays out of. Works from behind the scenes. Everyone likes him.
And then there's the sweet, simple Fredo, who is Keith Markovich. In a different time, 60 years ago, he's almost like, there was Johnny Boy Soprano, Junior Soprano, and then there was Eckley Soprano. Keith is Eckley. 60 years ago, Mr. and Mrs. Markovich, and God, I think we all wish Mr. Markovich had pulled out and spooged all over KMarko's mom's face. So that person was not born, dripped down her fucking tongue in her stomach and died in there as opposed to what she gave birth to. 60 years ago, Mr. and Mrs. Markovich, one of them must be pure evil. I don't know which one is. Would have driven around. I think they're probably nice people. 60 years ago, if he had been born, he would have driven around and found the perfect place for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
For him to live. And Saturdays, they would have picked him up and walked him around the mall.
Right. The special boy.
Well, no, I'm just saying, and they would have loved him as we all do, but it's just, he just wasn't made for this society. This is not. So I think Dave's a very nice guy. And like Marlon Brand, like Don Corleone was with Fredo. He understood there was a place for him,
Right.
And in Dave's mind, this is his Vegas. He's out there, doing his gambling or whatever. Was it Vegas? Was that where they went to Vegas? Mo Green?
Yes.
Was that Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah, Vegas. Out in Vegas. And he needs a Mo Green type, I think, so he can just kind of run and do his girls and do his gambling and do his dancing around. And he's a very, very, very simple human being.
You don't talk to a man like Zonko like that.
That's right. There you go. There you go. So I mean, it's just he's not built for society in 2020, and it's a
1,000%, yeah.
And I like this though. 100 years ago, like the Kennedys did, they would have taken his brain out.
Giving him a lobotomy.
Yeah, he would have got a lobotomy. Now it sounds like they started on it. In the middle of it, the doctor's like, "Fuck it," because that's kind of what it sounds like when I was talking to you yesterday. Half a lobotomy. You know what I mean?
He enjoyed the song.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rose Kennedy sitting there tapping her foot to the song.
Yeah, well, that's not, again, it's a terrible thing. But I think the middle of it, I think the doctor was so disgusted with KMarko. Please tweet this out, Steve, this quote. The doctor was so disgusted with KMarko that in the middle of lobotomy, he just said, fuck it, and walked away. And this is what you're left with. 6 mistakes in 11 years, whatever that means. So when you hear the rundown, and many Minifans were getting mad at the rundown yesterday, you have to keep in mind that this is the Corleone family defending Fredo. They are defending their guy. Like they understand. They've told me this privately. Like sometimes they use the word that we can't use anymore these are simple men as well, but they love this guy.
Yeah.
KMarko is their Fredo.
When you were tweeting last night, I was hearing the Riggs drop of what? Every time you would quote someone, they're like, this isn't true. I didn't say this.
How about Dave? Huh? Jesus.
What?
Sensitive Dave.
I didn't see that one.
Dave's
I wasn't commenting on that.
Dave's like 100. Yeah, there's 100% not true, but whatever. Okay. You bet. I mean, but Kevin's clearly in on the joke. I don't think there's any big mystery
so.
there.
Cancel culture, I would think
But he loves. Well, his original text, or we were talking about if he had any balls, what he wanted to do was Kirky cancel culture, not cancel culture with C's, all K's. I said, shame on you that you didn't do that. That's what I said. I said, you're a pussy. I would have done that. But what KMarko likes? KMarko's upset though when he's in a bad mood?
What is that?
He loves playing police Legos.
Oh, yeah, they took away his toys.
Yeah, and he loves his Matchbox cars. He really goes vroom, 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 and then they take off super fast. It's so, he always runs after him. You can't quite catch him.
It would be really nice, like kind of an olive branch, if you invite him over to play Beyblades with Harry.
That's a little advanced, but I'll tell you what he likes. WWE. Ooh, does he like WWE? You know what he likes too? The circus. Those people, they go up there and they flip around and around and around. They always catch it. They don't know how they do that. Look, that elephant. Look, Dave. Look, Dabby Dave. That elephant's doing a big poopy. That's what he says when they go to the circus
Now,
together.
that seems like unusual language for an adult man.
Well, he's not an adult man. You have to remember
okay.
that. Yeah, he's a simple man.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Simple Keith. Yes. Hashtag Simple Keith, please, Steve. Hashtag Simple Keith. That's what we're dealing with here. Now, I know photographs of him would suggest otherwise, but, Simple Keith it is from now on.
He's very smart.
Very smart. Very smart guy. I mean, he doesn't write or anything. He doesn't know how to write or read, but who cares
He doesn't
about
enjoy
that?
it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Doesn't
and you know what?
enjoy it.
I remember that with kids I was in grade school with too. It was just hard work.
Screw homework.
Well,
I always
first
say.
of all, I've never cared about writing.
Atta boy. I think that's what I said in the interview.
Yes.
That's what I like to hear. He's a sweet, simple, and kudos to Liz Gonzalez, because that is a lot of work to have a helper all day like that. I mean, I know that's really nice. That is really sweet. And now I understand why she's there. It's a tax break for the company, right?
I don't know.
I would
Maybe
think.
that's why I'm around, too.
A home healthcare provider.
Yes, I think that's really nice. Oh, Keith. No, Keith. No, you do. No, not in the urinal, Keith. You go pee in the urinal. Oh, yeah. What was that, Keith? Keith, what was that?
Racism bad? Yes, that's very good.
Keith, you're excited about wrestling tonight.
Okay.
Now,
Keith, 6 mistakes, 11 years? What's that cut? What's the one? What is that? What was that? Huh? What? What are you saying?
Okay.
I I like that one because
I didn't hear that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, well, Keith, I didn't hear that answer. So the idea that Liz Gonzalez was hired to be sort of a helper for you as a sort of a state healthcare worker. What are you saying?
I didn't hear that, but that makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense. You're right about that, Keith.